This is wildlife biologist Eric Orff with my YouTube channel. Look where I am today. I am back down on Great Bay in Greenland, New Hampshire, and look at the geese out here. Look at the geese out here. This is a place, Great Bay, that I first started coming to in the mid-60s. My best friend Rick Hamill and I tried goose hunting, or duck hunting right down there, goose hunting, one December, probably in 1967, maybe 66, so 50 something years, 55, 56 years, I have been coming to Great Bay. I remember coming here with to ice fish in the wintertime for smelt with Don Merrill, conservation officer, CO Don Merrill, had the Manchester area, and I came down with him smelt fishing a couple of times, and I had been other times as well with my son up on the Squamscott River or the Lamprey River or the Oyster River right in Durham. So I have frequented Great Bay. When there were coho salmon running here, I was out here trolling for coho salmon. I never did catch one trolling. What did I catch when I was trolling for coho salmon? I actually caught a bluefish. So my days of trying to fish for coho salmon ended up with me landing a bluefish, as I can remember. But I've been up in here many a times striper fishing, and been here a number of times duck hunting, not very successfully. But what is different? Today is January 21st, 2021. There, other than this ice that there is right here along the shore, there is not any ice on Great Bay, January 21st, 2021. Back in the 60s, in the 70s, 80s, even into the 90s, by January, the bay is completely covered with ice. There is not any open water at all. Little Bay, beyond Adams Point, Little Bay, yes. Great Bay always froze over. And beginning in 1989 or 1990, I began conducting the midwinter waterfowl survey for the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department as a wildlife biologist. I was then stationed in the Region 3 office in Durham. So I would come down here via airplane. We would leave Concord in a small aircraft, a Cessna 172, come down and circle Great Bay and count the ducks and geese in the wintertime, beginning in around 1990 that I began doing it. It had been a survey that had happened since the 1950s, 52 I think, when the midwinter waterfowl survey began. So part of my job was to come down here and fly counterclockwise around Great Bay. In the first few years, it was mostly frozen. But what was on the ice, not ducks and geese, because it was frozen over, bob houses, hundreds of bob houses for smelt fishermen all winter long. There were hundreds. In fact, looking at, the other day I contacted Cherie Patterson at the Fish and Game Region 3 office in Durham, who I worked with for most of my career there, and she had some staff send me some information. So in 1982, the winter of 82, they counted almost 300 bob houses down here on Great Bay that winter, and some years they counted as many as 445 bob houses in this part of Great Bay. And some of those years, say 1995, Fish and Game would go around in the wintertime. I worked out of the same office, and the staff would go various times, mostly at night, and go around and survey the smelt fishermen to see how many smelt they were catching, and they would extrapolate numbers. So in 1995, the Marine Division staff, by censusing the ice fishermen, calculated that 238,888 smelt were caught that winter. The last data I have here is from 2019. You know how many they calculated were taken in all of 2019 here on Great Bay? 3,639 smelt. In my lifetime of watching the bay, 50-something years, I have watched winter disappear. Climate change has taken away the ice in Great Bay and all that went with it. All the money from the smelt fishermen, the bait, the equipment, it's gone. All that revenue, all that economy, winter economy around Great Bay is gone because climate change has simply removed the ice in my lifetime. It is hard to believe that this happened in probably less than 50 years. There was ice here well into the 90s, because I flew it every year until I retired in 2007. But that winter, You know, in the 90s we still had ice, as I recall, and but around 2000, the ice starting to be less. So we would fly down here. I mean, it used to take an hour or an hour and a half to fly out of Concord, come down and orbit around Great Bay once or twice and count usually 1,000 to 2,000 geese and several hundred ducks, maybe even 1,000 or more ducks, many black ducks. And then we would get down the rivers, but the rivers, the Lamprey, the Oyster, the Exeter, Squamscott, were all frozen over. There was no flying to do up the rivers. But the last several years that I censused the Midwinter Waterfowl Survey, all the rivers were essentially open, or much of them were open in the first week of January, or the second week of January. In the last year that we flew, there was no ice. And 2007 was another winter where in January, at least, the first or second week of January, there was very little ice on Great Bay, and all the rivers were wide open. So I have witnessed in my lifetime winter ice disappear on Great Bay because of climate change, our warming climate. So January 21st, 2021, I think it may not be above the average temperature of what it should be. It was 28 degrees in the car when we just pulled in here. So that's probably close to a daytime high for this time of year. But up until now, the last 32 days since mid-December, the daytime temperatures have been running about 10 degrees above average. That's why there was actually no snow anywhere here in coastal New Hampshire. There's not even a snowbank left. So temperatures have been running high. 2020 tied for the hottest year on record with 2016, just 4 years ago. So we've had 2 out of the last 4 years were record warm temperatures here in New Hampshire. And it shows. I think we're looking at another one. Will this be the new record in 2021? It sure is looking like it might be. So, yeah, lots of changes. New Hampshire's warming up. We have lost the ice. Winnipesaukee the other day was wide open when I went by last Sunday. So, yeah, lots of changes here on Great Bay. Loss of winter, loss of the revenue, and kind of sad to see in a way. So, Eric Orr for New Hampshire Fish and Wildlife YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.